Good evening and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. So, of course, it is another painting workshop with Pascal Rosa, and he will be continuing painting Kalhana from the Drowned Earth. And hello, Pascal.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Hi, monkeys. How you doing?
I'm very good, and yourself?
I'm very good. Excited to be here tonight. Since the last time I did this brownish elephant skin, right? When we finished, I really wasn't that enthusiastic yet about it, and I thought it lacked some real definition. It all blurred into a bit of brownish gray areas. So off camera, I did some slight touches here and there. Added some red glazes here and there, sharpened the shades a little, and everything that was not yet painted, I painted in black, or most of it anyway. You'll see in a bit, just to make some how do you say that? Some outlining for to let the color come out a bit more. And actually, right now, I'm pretty much more excited about how it turned out. I even used a little trick Mr. Snowyek already used on his version, which is with the ears. He did really pink ears on the inside, so I did a bit more pink on my ears as well. So thank you for that, Mr. Snowyek. And so that's where we're at right now.
Excellent. I can't wait to take a look and see what it looks like now.
Shall we switch over?
Absolutely.
So let me show you what I did actually since last time. So the pink ears for starters, then I painted all these details black, just to get a more clear view of what I'm working with. I left some parts spray painted in white, because I know I'm gonna have to do a much lighter color on those. So if I would have it black undercoated, it would be much more difficult to get that light color in. And then just like 10-15 minutes ago, I did the tusks and these little like bone piercings. I painted them just in a single color off-white, and I'm gonna work on them later on, as well as these tusks, by the way. But this is just a single coat. And now, with these details already painted out, you can clearly see those. I think last time I spoke about this, that I discovered, oh, there's a piercing over here, oh, there's a piercing over there. And now you can clearly see those.
Most definitely, yeah. No, he's looking great.
So what I'm gonna do today, I'm not really got a game plan actually for today, but I'm gonna just do some nice details. One thing I especially want to do is this ammo belt. I'm gonna try to do it in a non-metallic metal way, like the brass gold color. And maybe if I'm done with that in a quick way, then I'm gonna do some of these ruffles in a green, Hawaiian green color. Well, just let's start with the ammo belt then. If I'm gonna do like a non-metallic metal gold, I usually start off with a blend kind of yellow, which is something like it's like a yellow brown, game color, heavy gold brown. I always like the first stages, because you just gotta color it in, just trying to make it smooth and clean. There's no need to be very picky or very tidy, very precise. Just get some colors in there. So this is my base color. I'm gonna do shades in first, and I'm gonna take this armor brown, which is from Vallejo Model Air, a really nice rich brown, and I'm gonna mix it in with my yellow first. I've got to take two things into consideration. There's a like a whole shape in it, the entire ammo belt. It's a shape, but each individual casing, is that the right word? Each bullet in there is a shape on itself too. At first, I'm gonna do the general shape. So there's got to be darkness over here, and there's light. Like this. There's got to be light there. Maybe some shading again here. Well, actually, it's not shades I'm painting. It's reflections. Which is always a bit weird if you got to think about how does that work. And this is only the first. So this is like a bit of sketching and seeing where would it be feasible for shades and even the lighter spots to be visible. Right. So next on, I'm gonna do a second coat where I use much more of that armor brown. It's gonna be much browner. Almost pure. The thing I can tell you about non-metallics is creating a high definition of or a high contrast. So there's got to be a lot of stark darks, even black, pure black, against very very bright whites. You have to make that stark jump to pure white. This makes it shine even more. And it's not about making perfect, nice blends, etc. But it's just making that stark contrast between your dark colors and your light colors.
Many of the lessons that are to be learned just about art in general are then transferable across to any sort of medium, really, aren't they?
Because I've been learning so much from the old masters.
Well, so, yeah. Thank you so much to that strange MUA who's just raided us with 23 peoples. Hello, hello, hello. So welcome everybody to the channel. You're watching Pascal paint up Kalhana from the Drowned Earth Miniatures game. So it's probably worth describing then, Pascal, what you're doing now, this technique, because even though all the painters have been in and we understand for everybody else now.
So I'm trying to paint a brass ammo belt with plain colors, which is called true non-metallic metals. Trying to paint metal with colors that are not metal or metallic. So I've been using plain, sort of a yellow as a base coat, then trying to darken in the darker reflections. So I shouldn't be talking about shades in this case. And I'm going to do the highlights later on, the shine, as I would like to call it. But first, the thing I need to do is make those dark contrasts first. I've been darkening up the yellow with some darker brown, which I almost used pure on the last bits, and I'm gonna mix in some pure black in there, and already I'm going to near black. And while I'm doing this dark color, I'm already trying to line in each individual casing. How does it look?
Yeah, no, it's looking great. I can imagine, as you say, when you put your brightest, are we calling them reflections? Or that's going to really, really shine. No pun intended.
Sure you did. So I'm going to do a first highlight, which is not yet the brightest color I'm going to try to use, but it's the base color I did before. just added a little touch of a white, and which I'm going to use to try to define where the bright spots are going to be as well. I'm going to tidy up any places that I touch with my darker colors where I still need to have the yellow shine through.
The great thing about it, this ammo belt is really going to make the miniature pop, isn't it? Because of the contrast of that being very bright by comparison to the sort of skin tones.
Yeah. I thought I was worried about it when I did the skin in previous time. It's yellowish, yellows in the skin. There's going to be yellow in the ammo belt. But then it's contrasting in reflection in material in those kinds of aspects. So it fits perfectly, actually.
Yeah.
This is when you're doing non-metallics. This is a tip to make it much more realistic, especially with these. So I'm gonna do a like a reflection of the light on one side. Let's say this one. I'm gonna do it like this. It's gonna be brighter on this end, a bit less on this end. And then I'm gonna do a little dot on the other end, a bit more. And that way it's gonna be much more reflective because it's always gonna be reflecting on both sides. But this is the nicest spot I think I wanted to make as about contrast between dark and light, because it's going to be very stark from bright near white to near black, and then even later there's white again. There's just a little nick in the belt here, and at this way it perfectly emulates that. So I'm gonna do a bit of reds. Yes. So let's bring up the yellow. Like I said, now I've got to go back with the white to get those reflections in back. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this for now. Okay, what's next? Oh yeah, I wanted to do these ruffles. Like I said, I left these mostly white. So I could do, this may be fun to do, I could do a painting in with only glazes. In that case, I'm gonna start off with the yellow first. I did the yellow I used as last, the bright yellow to do the glaze. Just a hint of a white added in there to make it a bit brighter, and then I made a glaze from it. And I'm just going to glaze those in. You see how this already works, because there wasn't much light in here.
Yeah. And
there was a lot of here. And just glazing with the same color. Well, I'm not changing anything about how light or dark any area is. Just giving it a color. I'm going to go over to the green. And if I'm doing it right, you should see a nice transition from the green to the yellow. May need to take some passes to fully set in. I'm going to come back later to see where I think where the shades should be darker, where I want to see real pure black, and going to paint that in later, as well as doing some bright highlights. I'm going to paint those in later, but just for the tint of it, just for the color of it, this is really cool, easy method. the theory about spheres is automatically set in, just because of the way you've primed it. That part is already done. The only thing you need to do is give it color. This I'm going to use only in the deeper shades. Almost trying it as using it as a wash to seep into these. What do you call these?
Into like the crevices of the. Yeah.
I've took some of the brown I used earlier on the ammo belt and mixed it in with the green to get a very dark green. Just using it on this part here because these shades are dark enough, but in this case the shades should be even darker. Well, I could leave it like this, actually. I don't think I need to do much more. What's next?
So Snow was saying gun and bamboo in particular.
I was meaning to do some research on the bamboo because I've got a fixed image of bamboo in like an off-white brown yellowish tone, but somebody said, well, actually fresh bamboo is green. If I'm gonna do the green next to this green, and this is gonna fade away, so I want to keep that green. So I've put this off-white into this heavy gold brown.
Yep.
Have something like this. I want to make it even brighter. This is going to be my base color. Then again, there's especially when you're doing gaming models, there's this rule that you're which you can cheat by, which is if you cannot see it, then you do not need to paint it. That's easy enough, right? Or if you cannot reach it, you cannot see it, then you need not to paint it.
So as long as there's a dark color in there.
Exactly. So make sure it's black, or at least dark indeed. There we go. But this is already a nice bright color. It's it's tying in with the yellows from the belt. You can see that there's clearly a significance with that, but it's still a different yellow. And later on, I'm going to use the greens and going to tie in with the green as well, but it's still going to be a different green. First off, I'm going to do some shading, and I'm going to try to add the browns in there. It's just sketching in. So this is somewhat more defined. Gonna do one last darker shade just to get some nice definition. Add in a bit of black, a bit more of the brown. The way I'm seeing it right now, this is such an awesome color, this bamboo color. I may not even do the green.
Thank you very much for the raid, Paint with Penny. Welcome, everybody.
A lot of raiding today.
Yeah, very popular.
Wow, I feel blessed. Welcome, guys. Good to have you here. This is for in here. I'm doing a highlight first now, which is the base color with a bit of white in there. Yeah. So I think I'm done for now.
Well, he is looking great.
I'll be finishing it off off camera. Still gonna take a lot of work with a gun and all these pieces here. So there we go. What do you think, guys? I would really love to hear from you guys in what way I could really improve what I'm doing here. This is probably the first part of, or the first time I'm saying this. But yeah, even while I'm doing this for a while now, I'm really loving to hear some feedback on everything. So just give me whatever feedback you got, the good bits and the bad bits and everything. I'm trying to grow here. So thank you anyway for being here and showing me and give me your feedback. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Pascal, and we'll see you again soon. Yes,
definitely.
All right then.
Cheers, guys.
Bye for now then. Right then, folks, there we go. So thanks once again to Pascal for his workshop this evening. He will be finishing off this mini off stream, so you do want to be keeping an eye on his Instagram channel and his Facebook page to basically see the completed mini. All right, let's see who we need to thank. And we've got quite a few people tonight. So then, let's get the names right. Mitchell Ordunard Garras, Tom Glancy, Gherkin Warrior, Chris Cross, and Molten Wave. Thank you so much for following the channel. Welcome everybody. Hopefully we look forward to seeing you on future streams. But until then, thank you everybody so much for tonight, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye bye for now.